Hello everyone, welcome to this first session of the series on Dr. Homi K.Bhabha's views about cultural diversity and cultural difference with special reference to post-colonial studies. Students, this session is going to be a sort of brief introductory session about post-colonialism as a field of studies, post-colonial literary criticism with special reference to Dr. Homi K.Bhabha's contribution in the field of post-colonial literary criticism. So let's begin with an introduction with Dr. Homi K.Bhabha. Students, this eminent scholar born on 1st November 1949 in India, and he did his graduation from Mumbai, and later on he moved to Oxford for his PG studies, and he did his master's and doctorate over there, and later on he started his career in teaching from England only, and later he moved to America, and in the academic circles he is well-known name as an Indian English scholar and as a critical theorist. Presently, he is A.F. Rothenberg Professor of Humanities at Harvard University, and in critical theory or in the field of critical studies, he is one of the most important and distinguished names in the contemporary post-colonial studies. He received Padma Bhushan Award for his special contribution in the field of post-colonial studies. So students, this is a brief introduction about Dr. Bhabha, and this introduction gives us very important information about his career, that he is an eminent post-colonial critic. So before moving further to know in detail or to discuss in detail his ideas, his concepts, his contribution to the field of post-colonial studies, let's try to have a clear understanding of what post-colonialism is. Students, post-colonialism is the critical academic study of the cultural legacy of colonialism and imperialism, with a special focus on the human consequences of the control and exploitation of colonized people and their lands. And in this post-colonialism or post-colonial studies is a critical theory, or it is a field of critical studies based on the analysis of history, culture, literature, and discourse of imperial power, especially European imperial power. It also suggests that colonized world stands at the center of global modernity. And in very simple words, we can say that post-colonialism deals with the culture, literature, and history of those very countries which were earlier colonies to the imperial powers, European imperial powers. As you all know that earlier India was a colony of British Empire. And now, as the post-colonialism deals with the reaction and responses of the culture, life, society, and history and literature of the colonized people. So, what does this term literary criticism refers to? The post-colonial literary criticism comprehends the literatures written by the colonizer and the colonized both, wherein the subject matter includes portraits of the colonized people and their lives as imperial subjects. And the eminent post-colonial critics are Edward Said, Gayatri Chakrabarti Spivak, and thirdly Homi K.Bhabha. These three are known as Holy Trinity in the field of post-colonial studies. Students, all three of them, they have just tried to give an interpretation to the post-colonialism in their own way, although they are called Holy Trinity. But here it becomes important to point out that their work cannot be clubbed together in any homogeneous way, because each of them is different for the contributions he or she has made to the field. Edward Said's main contribution to the field is the concept of Orientalism, the attempt on the part of Western parts to establish the East as lazy and irrational. And on the other hand, Spivak, she answers the question, can the subaltern speak with a no? She talks about that women are doubly effaced in her scheme of things. And third, Dr. Bhabha. He is a well-known name in theorizing about mimicry, cultural diversity, cultural difference, and hybridity as far as the relationship between colonizer and colonized is concerned. So these three are the very famous post-colonial critics, and we are to study an extract from Dr. Bhabha's work that is entitled Cultural Diversity and Culture Difference. And if we talk about Dr. Bhabha's contribution in the field of post-colonialism, it is recorded that Bhabha has developed the concepts like hybridity, mimicry, difference, and ambivalence, and also third space. Students, these are the terms which we are going to analyze and understand in the extract which is there in your syllabus under the title Cultural Diversity and Culture Difference, and we will talk all these terms in detail in our next session. And in brief, we can say that in Bhabha's theory, these very terms, they describe the ways in which colonized people have resisted the power of the colonizer. And Bhabha wrote many articles and many books in the field of post-colonial studies, but his very famous works, which are considered to be the very path-breaking studies in the field of cultural studies or post-colonial studies. One of them is Nation and Narration, which was published in 1990, and the third one is The Location of Culture, which was written in 1994. Students, the extract which you are to study is taken from this very book, The Location of Culture. So we will talk about the extract and this book, The Location of Culture, in our next session. Thank you.